What's up, yeah, Joe? My feel of life. It's been like over a fucking month or two. I lost count, to be honest. My 4K monitor is dead. I had a BenQ 4K monitor. I had it for about 6 years, I think, maybe a little bit over than that. Now it completely ate shit. So for the time being, what I started doing now is like I started using my 2K ultra wide Acer Predator monitor. Right. This one was a hand me down by Paul. Ultra wide monitors for me, like the 2K version, has been very beneficial for me to work mainly when I use my timeline, right? Now, the point of me making this video is simply that I guess I want to share with you my experience of working with these three monitors, the 1080p, the 2K ultra wide, and also the 4K monitor, right? In regards to like work, right? I honestly think you're better off having a different monitor for something specific, right? Well, first of all, I mean, if you like to game, then cool. Get yourself a gaming monitor, right? You know, high refresh rate and other good stuff, right? I mean, that's a good start, right? In regards to work, and this is mainly work, right? I feel like the best choice that you can make for yourself is getting a 2K ultra wide monitor. But most importantly, get yourself one that's a 21:9 aspect ratio, right? That's an ultra wide one, right? There's like way bigger fucking like ultra wide monitors, you know, maybe be like too fucking crazy, but I haven't messed with any of this shit. I'll admit. I mean, nothing like that crazy, you know. But for work reasons, I feel like a 21:9 is actually very decent, right? And specifically, the size of the monitor that I'm using is a 3440 by 1440, right? Those are pretty good. And now, like I said, there's wider monitors out there, but I have not messed with a lot of them. And for the time being, like the reason why I'm suggesting this is because I feel like this monitor is just right when it comes to like a layout for working, right? Especially since I've started to use more DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve, their layout is not as adjustable as Premiere Pro, right? With Premiere Pro, you can literally just grab like a bin, you can move it over wherever you want, right? It's one of the things I guess I do like about Premiere Pro is that you're able to do that, right? However, with DaVinci Resolve, you cannot do that. You cannot just grab it and move shit around, so you're kind of like stuck with what the layout that they provide for you, which works. Everything's designed well, no complaints. But the thing is that for me, like timeline space is very important to edit, right? Being able to like, you know, zoom out, you know, you got space here to see your timeline is very helpful, right? If I was to suggest for you to get a monitor primarily for work, I would suggest that you go for a 3440 by 1440p monitor, ultra wide, right? You want something that has standard RGB, you know, a monitor that's calibrated to show you the true image or something that's very closely related to like an absolute color value for the internet, right? I'm not too much into like the whole color theory and all that shit, but basically standard RGB, what that is like it's a way to measure, you know, color, right? So with standard RGB, is that like primarily for the internet, they mainly go for something around this color space, right? When you're color correcting, the range of colors that you are able to see is going to be mainly from here, right? These 3 points, right? Your red, greens, and blues, and anything together is just white. The higher quality image that you're able to get with your cameras or your monitor or whatever, then like you're able to like expand more out to get more different color values of the reds, the blues, and the greens, right? But for the internet, for YouTube, because you know they want to try to keep everything consistent, there's like almost like a limited amount of like color information that's able to be shown, right? The way how a monitor can be set up, like the green value could be totally different visually, right? In other words, I'll give you an example. When I started editing with Paul, I didn't have like a good monitor to start with. The only thing I had was like an iMac, shitty TV that just cost me like $30 or whatever. But you know, I was able to connect it to my computer. I think that was it. Actually, I had to. Yeah, I was using my 720p TV as an extended monitor so I can edit, and I was using my iMac as a display, right? Yeah, basically I had one of these guys, right? Just to show you, it was basically just like the monitor itself. Everything was built into it, and you had like a glass, like a glass panel here to like protect like the LCD screen, right? Now the thing is that like after a while, I guess either like the glass or the panel, it went bad and it turned to yellow, right? So what was happening is that like while I was editing Paul's footage, the overall image quality was that I had like a yellow hue, right? So when I was color correcting from my perspective, I was adding a lot of like greens or reds, just to counterbalance the yellow that I saw, and it looked fucking terrible, right? When Paul received like the footage from me, he noticed that it didn't look good, right? So that's why he suggested that I should get like a color accurate monitor, right? And that's when I got myself the 4K, my BenQ 4K standard RGB monitor, right? Because the way how the monitor is set up is to give you a more accurate color visual information of what green, red, and blue is according to like the standard RGB values that the internet requests of you to make sure everything looks even throughout the internet, right? Now, if somebody has like a shady monitor and their greens look more brown, then that's on their monitor, right? There's nothing you can do about that, right? But for the most part, there is like a standard color value that monitors kind of try to follow. That way, every video you watch looks similar throughout different monitors, right? So that's what the standard RGB is about, right? There's more detail about it than that I know that I'm able to explain, right? But again, get yourself a monitor for work. So try to get something that has like a standard RGB color value information, right? Or a display. I wouldn't worry too much about a high refresh rate or anything like that, or anything gaming series or nothing like that. Try to get yourself a very good base level ultra wide monitor for work. 60 refresh rate for work is fine. Okay. On a final note, something that I learned about DaVinci Resolve. Actually, this does not work very well on a 4K monitor. They recently upgraded this from version 17. This is now version 18. Yeah, it's a Studio 18 now. So I don't know how it works until I get a 4K monitor. But I noticed that when I was editing in 4K, it didn't look good, right? You have to like do some other like advanced settings to like make DaVinci Resolve look good in 1080 in a 4K monitor, because everything looked too shrunk and it just did not look good. Also, another thing I noticed is that if say if I right click here, the menus didn't work as well actually in a 4K monitor, which I thought was kind of interesting, right? Like I couldn't select certain things inside of like the sub menu when I right click on something like an image or a video clip or the audio. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Like having a 4K monitor is probably not gonna help you out, and that's been my experience, right, using DaVinci. So if you want to get yourself a 4K monitor down the line, mainly get it because you are working with 4K footage, right? Don't get it for anything else besides that. Even if you're at the moment you're working with mainly 1080p footage, I still think you should get yourself a ultra wide, but make sure it's 3440 by 1440. It has to be a 2K monitor. I was chatting with someone and they told me that they got themselves an ultra wide monitor, but it was a 1080p monitor. Yeah, big mistake. Don't do that. If you're gonna get yourself a wide monitor, it's definitely worth paying a little extra to get more pixel space. You cannot go wrong with this a monitor like that. It'll help you out big time. Ever since my 4K monitor died and I started using this guy more, like I actually appreciated more my ultra wide. And honestly, I've been editing off this thing strictly off that, and my other monitors on the side, I'm going to be using it as an extra like desktop space, right? Anyways, that's all I have to say. Thanks for hanging out with me for a bit. Take care and peace.